Jill and Craig Vaughn in the studio. Peyton and Casey from the WRCA are here.
It's a beautiful morning.
I was going to say we need a little theme song, don't we?
Yeah,
it's a Peyton and Casey show.
We were singing some doo-wop this morning in my office.
Rocket squirrel.
We're just going to stop right there.
All good.
How are you?
I'm good, Craig. Did you have a good weekend?
I did have a good weekend, yeah.
Was it cold?
No.
Yeah, where I was at either, I had to leave my down jacket on. I'm still freezing.
Yeah, you were in New Mexico, right?
I was in Fort Sumner, New Mexico.
I heard it's cold there, yeah.
And it was so Frio that I was like, there's not enough jackets for everybody.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, no, actually, it was, it was pretty smoldering a little bit.
Yeah. I think it got up to around 100 here over the weekend, didn't it? I can't remember now, but it's that time of year where you kind of expect it.
Yes, but when it gets to 100, who cares if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and
Thank
6?
you. That's always been anything really after 96 is really just, it's the same to me. It'd be 96 or 105. It just doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Yep.
Big girls like me don't need to be out there plumping up.
It was way too hot to even...
Like a hot fester out there. Yes, Fort Sumner,
and it's
New
a 2-day.
Mexico.
That was a 2-day, wasn't it? Yep.
It was a 2-day. So Saturday night, it was at 7 on both nights. So by the time 7 o'clock came,
it cooled down about 90 or so.
The sun was great. It was like the sunset was perfect, and everyone's trying to wipe off the salt off their brow from drying up. And then on Saturday night, right before the grand entry, a storm started brewing, and we had to kind of put a weather delay on the, like 3 out in the bronc ride was the first event. And Jamie Schwartz, who brings good bucking horses, he couldn't get the back. I mean, his back flanks were just stretching. So we called it for a minute.
Yeah.
But the weather all around there was terrible.
Yeah.
I guess there was tornadoes in different areas, and it didn't do that there. Wind blew, rained heavily, power had some problems with the arena lights. I don't know.
Well, it wouldn't be rodeo season unless you ran into a few of those.
Yeah. Probably felt pretty good, though, after all that,
Well, it wasn't Meade, Kansas 5 times.
Yeah.
Well, not everyone. We have to have our mead survival packets now, but that's a whole nother subject.
It is. But, Craig, it was a really good rodeo, and a very, very, very tough rodeo at that. They had 14 teams, and I know for a fact 3 of them have been past world champions.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so they were there. And it just, the sorting got everybody. That was the event that seemed to have just knocked you down a step, But it was good. We the foundation did a check presentation. I had 3 kids that received scholarships this year.
Right.
And their families were there competing, their ranches. And so we're able to, those of you that might follow us on social media, we were able to get a family picture.
Yeah.
And so when you can get that to happen, well, I call it a family picture.
Yeah.
They're probably like, we're the family. She's the black sheep of the family, but I guess we'll do what she asked us. But Tyson and Carrie Henry put on a really good ranch rodeo, and it just gets better and better each year.
Yeah, good.
Well, and also their son, we've helped
Shane Henry, he sang. Yeah. So Shane sang the national anthem both nights.
Cool.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The kid has no fear whatsoever. I mean, he is just... And then he said, Casey, I'm singing in church Sunday, too.
Yes.
And so he was just... I don't know. When you see him going through all of his struggles, you're like, if I'm having a bad day and his attitude's the way it is, I'm just fine.
Yeah.
I'm just fine. I learned more from him than it's just cool.
Yeah.
It's cool, Craig.
Well, so who won?
Sandhill Cattle Company and McMillan.
And we're calling...
Kelton
McMillan.
Cool. I guess one of the direct relatives of the rancher owners. Good deal.
On the McMillan side.
I think we don't get a whole lot of that. So
no, we don't. Well, Tripp passed it on to Kelton.
I remember Tripp, actually. I think we've had him on, haven't we? He said, I'm not doing that again, huh? We scared him off, huh?
Well, all of us around. He's like,
His name is Pa T. That's what his granddaughter calls him. So in the middle, right when he was riding out after the stray gathering, I can't remember, I was all, way to go, Pa T. So then the next thing I see him, he goes, I heard you say that. I was like, well, I'm going to put it on your jacket.
That's right, there you go.
It's gone now.
We'll have it embroidered for you.
Sierra wanted to say, good morning, Pa T.
Poor Trip will never have the same name ever again.
All right, let's give old Kelton a call then.
Okay.
There we go. We got him on the phone. Kelton McMillan, congratulations.
Thank you.
You bet, man. Well, you'll be seeing you back in Amarillo. I know this isn't your first trip to Amarillo. I remember doing this year after year now with these couple of names, Sandhill Cattle and McMillan Ranch.
Yes, McMillan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think this year, let's just brag a little bit on Trip, which, you're like, oh, here we go again. But it's okay, Potty. Whatever we need to do to make you shine, okay. But that's what Sierra, Kelton's daughter,
Yeah, you
calls
you missed the intro to all this. Sorry, everyone in the world knows Potty now.
I think I think he said that this is their 20th year. Their 20th year to be here.
Yep.
And I know
Trip's made it 20 in a row.
Yep. And McMillan Ranches have been part of us, either members or competing separately, but then teamed up with Sandhill. And I mean, they are tough. They are really, really tough. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, I want to give Potty a little bit of a hard time because Kelton, when I looked across in the stray gathering, did I see him heel this weekend?
He's the full-time healer on half of the stray gathering now. So
well, I'd be a monkey fart. I really think I was like, oh, is that Trip? And I was sitting with Hope and I go, is that? And she goes, that is. I was like, yeah, here we go, new trend.
Well, insert that Caseyism, monkey fart. But
yeah, that's
I have them all up. But he did well. He did well. But
sweet.
Kelton, tell me a little bit on you guys have got a diamond in the rough in your back pocket, Gatlin Huddleston. That kid.
Yes, ma'am.
He set you guys off pace on Friday night in the bronc riding, which was the first event, Craig. And he just came out there, free-handed it, and great kid. And I commented to Trip after the rodeo, I said, yeah, you guys keep a hold of him. He's a good egg.
Yeah, no. Gatlin, that's the thing, man. Whenever you can start the rodeo off with whatever the first event is, a lot of times it's like a sorting or something, but we drew up in the first section of the bronc riding, and it dang sure helps to start the rodeo off with a good score in it, and Gatlin got by a pretty tough horse there, so that dang sure helped us.
74 points worth.
Yeah,
74 points worth.
Ended up getting you guys second overall in the bronc riding, so starting you off with the second, and just to fill everyone else in on kind of where you landed throughout the whole rodeo. In the bronc riding, you had second, and then you placed the third in the Brandon, second in the stray gathering, and then first in the wild cow milking. So that you guys stayed consistent, but placed in the top three all the way through. So
yeah,
yes,
Kelton, I'm going to bring up that cuss event that everybody had a problem with this weekend, and the sorting. That was a tough little gig this weekend.
Yeah, it was. The cattle weren't just crazy tough. I mean, it was like as a group of them, they were pretty good. But there was one, I think, there was a number 0 in there that took out like 3 or 4 teams in a row.
Yes.
The first and second night. And the first night, I think we got 4 of them knocked out before we spilt one, and then the second night, we kind of had a little tougher luck, and I think we only got 2 or 3 out before that 0 slipped out on us. So the sorting was a little hairy for us, actually.
Yeah, and it was hairy for pretty near everybody. I believe that on Friday night, I know Garrett, Crestone and Smith cattle were the only, and Circle M 8 barns were the only ones that had 5 head.
that got them all.
I think
out.
is how it went.
Yes, ma'am.
That got all 5 across.
Yep.
And then it got a little bit, not much better, Saturday.
Right.
And
Right.
But you guys, talk about the milking for a minute, because you guys took that both nights.
Yeah, the milking was good. We kind of had a game plan going in, and it seems, for whatever reason, most teams, whenever you some rodeos, they won't let the roper get off.
Yep.
Well, it seems to always work better whenever we can have Trip milk, and so we had him rope the cow, and then once we'd get her stopped, we just had him jump off and milk, and we got along good both nights in it.
I think it's really neat, and it's only because of the pin, the size of the pin is bigger, but so at championship, not everyone's horseback. Okay, so
Right.
when you have everyone horseback in the milking, it kind of, it has a different flow to it, and the guys really like it. Because I promise you, if
Yeah, because we're all tired of running from one end to the other, so we like to have a horse to get us right there up close.
Yeah, so when one gets whopped down there in the corner and you look down at the circle and you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
That's at Allsups. That circle is clear at Allsups at Billy the Kid's grave. How are we going to get there? Trip, run, Trip.
Yeah.
Run, Trip.
Yeah.
And that's when Trailer, he hands it off. I've seen him hand it off. To you.
Yeah, he usually looks, kind of depending on where we're at in the arena, it seems to work that once he gets her milked and then he looks up and sees where we're at,
Yep.
like, I always know if we're close to the circle, he just takes it, and it doesn't take him very long to hand it off if we're very far away.
Potty is very fancy at handing off the bottle. Hey, you guys rocked it, and you guys had a good, solid Friday night, and so you came in there looking pretty good, or I felt like you did. I don't know. I didn't look at the things until today, but it kind of took a little pressure off. But I'm telling you, Craig and Peyton, the teams that were chasing them are tough.
Well,
It was a tough rodeo. Do you agree, Kelton? It was a tough rodeo.
Yes, it was tight. I mean, we could, just figuring up a bunch of just cowboy math. We were knowing it was pretty tight, and there wasn't much separating about 4 or 5 teams.
Right.
And I think we were leading it after the first night, and that's at some of them rodeos, you're like, man, whenever you're leading it out the first night, you're like, man, I wish this was just a one-day rodeo, and it's sometimes hard to do it 2 nights in a row.
Well, it looks like you guys were 6.5 points over Singleton, so they weren't far behind.
Singleton.
They were nipping on your heels there.
What did What did Wilson?
I don't have the
So
times on me, but Wilson
it was
probably
tight.
right there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good rodeo, Kelton, and you guys have a good one. And tell Hope that the cookies were really, really good. I appreciate always seeing her. But now that Kelton's kids are getting bigger, I've got to fight them for the cookies, which I'm like, how embarrassing. I mean,
that's why we let Trip still come. Hope brings the cookies.
Yeah. She's like, I'm sorry they're hot and smashed. I'm like, really? That's like the best way to have them.
Yeah. Put them on the dash of the truck and let's roll.
Well,
that's right.
You guys behave. Kelton, your family is just awesome. You guys are doing great, and we will see you down the road, okay, bud?
Thank y'all for everything you do.
Hey, tell Patty I said hi, and Sierra.
I'll do it.
Later.
Sounds like a good rodeo. Who else won? I know there's a bunch of awards we didn't talk about yet. So.
Yeah, just to go through and give everyone the overall placings. Sandhill, Cattle, and McMillan. We just got off the phone with Kelton, and they're from Earth, Texas, and Paden, Oklahoma. And then second place was Singleton Ranches, and they're out of Lamy, New Mexico. And then coming in third was Wilson Cattle, and they're from right here in Canyon, Texas. So that was the top 3. And then top hand was Trip Townsend, and, well, we just got to looking, and that's 2 years in a row. So at Fort Sumner.
Yes, yes.
Patty did it again.
Yeah, that's a good one for him, that's for sure.
And my notorious New Mexico Zia hanging flag friend got top horse, Jared Burris. off of Crossroads. And I don't want to mutilate the name on that horse, but I think they call him Red Ray. Big old roan horse. Nice horse. So I was very excited. I actually missed doing my job. I was supposed to take the picture of the top horse winner and all that. Well, I got to talking. I mean, I don't know why I would start talking, but
you. Right?
So Jared and Tyson Henry were standing there taking their picture, and I was like, "Oh no, can't let Jared." And I made a complete fool of myself, which is you all can just understand. Yep. Yeah. And the photographer's like, I hear him go, "Ah." And it was all just because I like to give Jared a hard time.
It ended up almost working for the best because we had to call Jared to get a picture, and he sent us a really neat picture of him and his son.
Jace, yes. And it's really cool.
It really kind of tied it together.
It did tie it together.
And it was just kind of a good moment, and as Casey always says, job security to see a little one on a pony riding right next to his dad in the arena. So those are always
They're coming in the arena, and I'll set the ambiance to this. They're coming into the arena. You got the New Mexico flag in the back. And the sun is setting, and here's Jared. Jared's riding his horse, and his son, Jace, is riding below him on a little pony looking up, smiling. I'm like, come on, America. What the heck?
Yeah, just boosting our Facebook likes like crazy.
What the heck? But I also got to see some old family friends that I hadn't seen in a while. You go to these small town rodeos and you get to see folks you haven't seen in a long time.
You can see them once a year or so.
I turned the corner and there was Matt Cramblett, who used to be on a couple teams, and I go, oh my gosh. And I was thinking, you're not on a card. He goes, I'm not. I'm like, you're kidding with me, right? So it kind of makes me nervous because we got a lot of new folks, right? So anyway, it was good to see Matt and Ashley Cramblett and their kids, and Sonny and Bryant Osborne. I hadn't seen them forever and ever. It's great. Their son actually is making it to the junior high finals in Des Moines, Iowa, in the steer riding something. I think it's like steer riding saddle bronc. I don't really know how it all works, but go get him. I think Hardy is probably, he's in junior high, so I don't know how old that is.
Mm-hmm.
But good luck to Hardy.
That's cool.
Go pull you a check in Des Moines, Iowa.
You guys got double rodeos this weekend, don't you?
Yes, I hate to go to the Maverick Ranch Rodeo because it's in Cimarron, but dang it, I get to see my mom and my sister and my brother. I just like, I'm so excited. But then we also have Pawhuska, which is clear on the other direction. Cimarron.
Yeah, and they're new on the schedule.
Ben Johnson Days. I have to look that up.
It's a cool gig.
They are. That town of Pawhuska is booming right now. I guess there's a movie shooting and
Scorsese movie.
Yeah.
Cool. So you see Leonardo DiCaprio stand on the edge of your truck, go, hello. I'm singing in.
Yeah, that's Scorsese's radio. Nobody knows what she's doing.
Just picture the Titanic.
Somebody at our preseason meeting, there was a comments about putting cameras in here, and I'm like, hey, yeah.
I didn't do nothing.
We've talked about filming this thing for our own personal gain.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't need to see all of it.
Not stuff you want to see at your funeral,
I want people to see, and then they can show it at my funeral. I think that would be great bonus points.
Oh, my goodness.
So then we leave Pawhuska and Cimarron, and then we go to Hugo, America. This year, Craig, is our 20th year.
Cool. Yeah, that's a 2-day also up in Colorado.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll look cooler up there.
And they're also doing the Top Hand Challenge again on Friday, and I think that starts at 1 o'clock.
Cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
So what they do is they take all the top hands from the sanctioned rodeos from last year, and then they all compete. It's an individual deal, and then they all compete, and it's pretty cool to watch.
And don't forget, here locally, if you're in and around Amarillo, they got the Will Rogers Range Riders Rodeo coming up July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So if you're around here locally.
That'll be our first youth event.
Yeah, the first youth ranch rodeo, too. So get out and support the kids. And there's plenty of info on that. If you find Will Rogers Range Riders Amarillo on Facebook, there's the whole poster and details and all that good stuff.
Well, I'm pretty sure Carrie Henry would want me to give a shout out to Aspen, who helped her do the... No, I didn't say timber, black walnut. Just Aspen is her name. Uh-huh. And Trent Bilberry did the announcing, and he did a great job, and he plays really good music. So, that's it.
Cool.
A lot of people to thank. Hope everyone had a good rodeo. I did. I left there with about 50 million cottonwood spores in my face, in my nose, in my ears. So a little froggy.
Good deal. Well, we will have you guys back in next week. Are you going to Oklahoma, Peyton?
Lehman's actually traveling to...
Who?
Where?
Is he here?
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about Lehman's not here.
Oh, I don't know. Is he under the table? Layman!
We
Layman!
lost him somewhere, but he should be on his way to Pahuska.
He's probably walking away. I'll be going to Cimarron.
All right, we'll catch you guys next week.
All right, adios.
Oh, WRCA.org. WRCA.org.
Tickets.
Yes, tickets are going faster than normal. Be back here in November before you know it. And those tickets